Superlatives for week one. We got a few awards we're going to hand out here. We got categories we came up with ahead of time. How about the Hustler Award for the GM or the team who put in the most effort and work and elbow grease this week? Who would you give it to?
I'd give it to Dave Ziegler of the Las Vegas Raiders. Not having anything to do really with Davante Adams, because obviously that took a while. It's a great trade, but I was really impressed with when they answer their need at pass rusher with what they feel is a guy who's still got 3 or 4 good years left with Chandler Jones, that almost simultaneously they then trade Yannick Ngakoue, who is, an 8, 9, 10 sack guy consistently, to Indianapolis for a corner that Indianapolis had semi-soured on, Rocky Yassin, who steps into the Raiders, and he'll be one of their top 3 corners. And I just like the fact that he knew that he had a good chance to get a long-term rusher, and he then jettisons one of his rushers whose contract is going to be done at the end of this year, and he got something in return for him of value to the Raiders.
For me, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars, and specifically GM Trent Baalke. Plenty of teams try to spend their way into contention. The Jaguars trying to spend their way out of dysfunction, rounding up free agent after free agent. And I don't know how much more they had to pay than other teams. The goal for any team in free agency is to win the ties, to force teams to pay more than what a player would want to come play for you. I think the Jaguars probably had to pay a premium to get some of these guys to go there, but they are trying to accumulate talented players. They're trying to make themselves into a team that can be competitive. Last year was as bad as it's ever been for the Jaguars, or really for any team in recent years. They're trying to spend their way out of it. They're using one of the available tools in free agency, Peter, to make that happen. Let's just spend a little time on this. What do you think the end result of this is going to be? Does it pull them out of this? I mean, they're still in the AFC with all these other great teams, but does it maybe vault them past the Texans and maybe start moving them toward the Colts in the AFC South?
I think it's impossible to know where they are in relation to the Texans, because the Texans are going to have they could have 3 very high picks in this draft. They're going to have number 3 overall, or they could also have a double first-round pick next year as well. So, look, I think this is a cliche because everybody has been jumping on this one, but Christian Kirk is a monumental chance that this team is taking. He's got to be, they paid him like a number 1 receiver, at least for the next 2 years. And if he's not an 80 to 90 catch guy, then they're going to be saying, well, geez, we let DJ Chark go for nothing, and we bring this guy in. He has to make beautiful music with Trevor Lawrence immediately in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think if Christian Kirk is the guy the Jaguars think that he is, the Cardinals blew it because they never should have let him go. Because the Cardinals don't let that guy go if he's as good as that contract in Jacksonville suggests. The Do More Award, which team, which GM, which whoever needs to work a little bit harder based on the first few days of free agency? Who you got?
Bill Belichick. But he always is like this. He's always going to sit out. And it's why, look, I think it's short-sighted after 3 days of free agency to say Team X has done a crappy job. Okay, so Chicago GM Ryan Poles, Bill Belichick, there are others who are basically watching the world go by. In past years, remember when Washington used to win free agency every year and then they'd be 4-12? So that's why I think it's always dangerous to say, the Patriots stink now. Even though you look at them and they're not doing anything, I believe that on June 2nd, let's look at what they've done on June 2nd or 3rd rather than on March 17 or 18.
Always smart to let the money get spent early by others, let the market soften and go bargain shopping. It's just more stunning this year from the Patriots because last year they did the thing that was the aberration where they went all in and signed guy after guy after guy because they finagled their cap just right in a year where everyone else was in a cap problem because of the pandemic. The Patriots were able to go out and get guys without having to pay the kind of premium that you see in a normal year of free agency. That's why they were so aggressive last year. I think the Cowboys need to do more. Shireen Williams was on here last night. She lives down in the area. She said Cowboys fans are pissed. I mean, they had Randy Gregory convinced to stick around, and they got caught up in technicalities that shouldn't have applied. They should have done what they had to do to the contract to keep Randy Gregory comfortable and keep him in Dallas. Hey, good. They kept DeMarcus Lawrence around, but they wanted to keep Cedric Wilson. He's gone. They were able to get something for Amari Cooper, but they paid him a lot and ended up getting peanuts in return at the end of the day. There's just a sense of malaise for a Cowboys team that has an opportunity. You see the NFC getting weaker. This is a chance for the Cowboys to go all in, but this is one of those years where spending sprees from the past come back to haunt you. And one thing that's really haunting them is that Ezekiel Elliott contract that pays out $12.4 million fully guaranteed. If it wasn't guaranteed, he would not be there.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.